All right, so we're going to talk about which formula we use when. And that is probably the most challenging part of this entire unit, is knowing what type of problem we have. And then now that once we figure out the type of problem we have, we then can determine, okay, what formula goes with that problem. So the first one we talked about was simple interest, and that's our formula, I equals PRT. And how do we know when it's a simple interest problem? Well, we'll actually see the phrase simple interest in the problem. So it might say 5% with simple interest. So looking for that simple interest phrase, that's your big clue for simple interest problems. Then I'm going to jump around a little bit in the order that we did these, but the next easy one to identify is that compounded continuously, or continuous compounding. And that's our formula for it right there. And for this one, again, you're looking for that phrase, continuous compounding or compounded continuously. The order that they put that doesn't matter. It means the same thing. But that you're just looking for that phrase, and that tells you we're continuous compound formula with our E, our exponential base. Now we will end up with 4 other formulas. We only have 3 at the moment. And what I have with this is a nice little flow chart. You can definitely copy this down and use that. It would help for sure. But the first question that we ask ourselves is, do we know the deposit amount? Do we know how much we put into the bank? And this is just a yes or no question. Yes, we know the deposit amount, or nope, we don't know what that deposit amount is. So let's say we know the deposit amount. The next question that I ask here, is it one deposit or is it multiple deposits? You'll notice that it's actually the same question over here, even if we don't know the deposit amount. And so it's really just 2 questions you have to ask yourself, and you follow this flow chart to figure out where we're going. So is it one deposit or is it multiple deposits? So if we do know the deposit amount here, so we're just going to look at this side first. We know the deposit amount. So is it one deposit or is it multiple deposits? So for the first option, one deposit, if it's just, we deposited $500 into the account just one time, that is a compound interest formula, compound interest problem. If it is multiple deposits, so I deposit $100 every month into the account, or I deposit $300 every quarter into the account. So I'm making multiple deposits. That is our periodic deposit with our periodic deposit formula. Now, jumping over here, we've only done 1 more formula. There are 2 more. We have 1 more to talk about next week. Is this one deposit or is it multiple deposits? So we've actually talked about the scenario where it is just one deposit, but we don't know the deposit amount, and that is our present single deposit. So we have a goal of, say, $10,000 that we want to reach. How much do I need to deposit now? So how much do I need to deposit? That means I don't know my deposit amount. And how much do I need to deposit right now? One time. So that's a present single deposit. Next week, we'll talk about the last formula. We're not going to worry about that yet. And we'll finish this flow chart next week as well. But this is what we have so far. This is our big flow chart here, and you can copy this down and just keep a space for this last formula. And then also keep in mind simple interest and continuous compounding. Those are those 2 equations where you're just looking for that key phrase in order to solve it. So hopefully you have time, you can copy this down, and hopefully this helps you to be able to determine what formula we're using when.